गुड मॉर्निंग, वेलकम टू वी लर्न में आपका स्वागत है. द टॉपिक फॉर टुडेज डिस्कशन इज़ ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट और हम सेशन 5 कवर करेंगे. टॉपिक्स कवर्ड आर इंट्रोडक्शन, मीनिंग ऑफ ट्रेनिंग, ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ ट्रेनिंग, इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ ट्रेनिंग, assessment of training needs, execution of training programs, types and techniques of training, role of management development, evaluation of training effectiveness, and why training fails. Let's start with the introduction. In every day-to-day life, we try and learn something. As a child, हम हमेशा से जानते हैं कि हमें शू लेसेस बांधना सिखाया गया है. That is a part of training, right? Ladies जो हैं कुक करना सीखती हैं, that is also training. So in context of organization, there are training modules developed. Why training is undertaken? So that the organization has well and experienced personnel to perform the tasks that are needed to be done. Every organization has some objectives in their mind. And to get those objectives rightly, training is imparted. Why training is imparted? To achieve those objectives, in order that the employees develop the requisite skills so that the objectives are accomplished to the fullest, so that the organization reaches the highest level. Meaning of training. What basically training means? It indicates any process by which aptitude, skills, and abilities of employees to perform specific jobs are increased. Training is always imparted keeping in mind some objective. Yes, we have to achieve some objectives. In order to achieve that objective in a rightful manner, in a productive manner, not only skills, but your aptitude, the way you think, and picking up the right skills, your abilities, each and every aspect of an employee is honed so that the job is performed to the maximum level. Objectives of training. What are the objectives? We have been discussing to increase the knowledge base, to increase the productivity, right? So when we say objectives of training, A is acquiring intellectual or job-related knowledge. When in an organization, a new employee joins, everyone must have noticed कि employee training or orientation का sessions रखे जाते हैं. Why these sessions are incorporated in an organization? So that the incumbent, so that the new joinee who joins the organization get the required knowledge, get the required skill to perform that job, right? If that employee does not get that incumbent training programs, what will happen? He will not be able to perform the job well, right? Again, acquiring manual skills. The acquisition of a manual skill requires practice or experience along with feedback. While learning can happen in isolated self-learning mode, it can be significantly speeded up by guidance and theoretical knowledge imparted by the experts, right? Again, the third is acquiring managerial skills. Why managerial skills? You join as a trainee, you need to graduate to further levels, right? If you need to graduate to a senior level, you must have the managerial capacity, you must have the managerial know-how of attending to people. You should be people's people in order to get into a managerial shoes, right? So much of a manager's work is managing people and solving problems. Every employee who is a prospective manager needs to know how to manage people and solve problems. These includes organizing his own and his team members' work effectiveness and planning for a wide range of other decision-making responsibilities. These are skills including diagnosing problem, interpreting relevant data, assessing alternative solutions, and getting feedback concerning the effectiveness of the solution. Right? Now, what are the importance of training? Yes, we understand training is given to increase the objective is to increase the managerial efficiencies, to increase the productivity. But then the question arises, why training? A, to increase the effectiveness and productivity. Right? If we impart training to employees, we have one main aim in the mind that yes, the employee does the work to the maximum efficient level, right? So that his activities are directed and hitting straight to the objective, not here, not there, so that the productivity increases and he reaches the maximum productivity level. अगेन ट्रेनिंग हम क्यों देते हैं? टू इंक्रीज टीम स्पिरिट. हम ये जानते हैं, हम ये समझते हैं कि कोई भी काम अकेले करना मुश्किल है, राइट? हमें लोगों की ज़रूरत है टू डू आवर वर्क. वी नीड पीपल, राइट? एंड most of the time you will see that people are not good team players. Why training is imparted? So that they understand the group is important, that a team is important to do a particular task. Person A has one quality, person B has the other quality, and both these qualities are required to accomplish the organization's goal. All right? To accomplish the organization goals, both the qualities are to be collaborated, all right, so that we achieve it. And how would that be achieved? Only when they both start working together. Only when they both work as a team, person A and person B. Okay? जब तक इन दोनों की A और B क्वालिटीज़ नहीं साथ में आएंगी, हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑब्जेक्टिव तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे. All right? In order to drive their efforts to achieve the organization effectiveness, organization objective, they are supposed to work in team. And that is why training is imparted, so that they learn to accept what the other person is saying. The third is organization culture. Why organization culture? Why it is important to impart training in context of organization culture? हर एक organization का अपना एक अलग culture होता है, अपना एक अलग vision होता है. The new incumbent who is coming to the organization, who is new to the organization, doesn't know the organization culture. It is only we as an organization who is supposed to impart them with the training of knowing what the organization says, what is its motto, वो क्या अचीव करना चाहती है, उसके क्या कोई सोशल रेलेवेंस है उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. एंड इफ इट इज़ देयर, द न्यू इनकम्बेंट, द एम्प्लॉयज़ ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, द करंट एम्प्लॉयज़ ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आर supposed to be given training on that, so that all their efforts, right, all their efforts are in sync with the culture, so that they don't do any act which is against the organization culture. Training is necessary, right? Another is organization climate. Every organization has their own climates, right? The way they behave, the way they carry out their work. Training is again very, very important. All right. Quality. If you want to increase the quality, improve the quality of the byproducts of the organization, training is important, right? Quality of manpower, quality of product, and quality of service, right? In every three aspects, product, service, and manpower, we need to give them training so that we get the best out of them. If we produce a product which is not matching the quality standards, then we are failed. And in order to increase the quality, we need to give the training to the people who are producing the quality, right? Another is healthy work environment. Why training is given? When two people are in close contact with each other, when they are working together with each other, there are bound to be differences in opinion. That is a taken fact. वो एक accepted fact है कि दो लोग जब साथ में काम कर रहे हैं तो differences of opinion होंगे. But we need to understand, an organization need to understand how to avoid personal clashes with differences of opinion. वो एक healthy work environment बनाने के लिए that's very important that employees be given training to give utmost importance to the objectives of the organization and not to their personal differences. Right? Again, morale of the employee gets increased if they are given training. Employees know that they are equipped with a knowledge base, with a proper backing of doing a thing in a right manner. When they are aware of this thing, the morale is increased. Morale, how it increases? Because they know that the outcome is going to be perfect. The outcome is going to be good. They would be appreciated. When they would be appreciated, the morale is going to get up. It helps in improving the image. It helps in improving how it improves the image because a well equipped person is more presentable, right? If well equipped person is more presentable, it gives an overall good image to the organization that yes, my employees are properly trained. My staff is properly trained in the product, in the service, and in their normal activities, in their day-to-day activities. Again, all the training efforts leads to profitability. When there is huge profitability, the morale gets high, right? When the morale gets high, then there are more ways, more chances of employees doing more work, more productively. When they do it more productivity, then again the profits go high. So it's a chain, it's a circle. All right. Assessment of training requirements. Now, this is one example, this is one theory that one needs to understand. Thayer and Meghe model. This is a model which considers three aspects, three factors, right? One is organizational analysis, the other is task analysis, and the third one is individual analysis. Training considers both the organization's demand and that of the individuals. Diversification of product lines, new technology, and hence a new kind of job, or a shift in organizational culture, or ways of conducting businesses, or common organizational needs that cover most employees in the company. On the other hand, demands that pertain to individuals' growth and development, including induction training for new hires or training necessitated by job rotation due to organizations' internal mobility policy, are examples of individual-based needs. Thus, Thayer and Meghe model was analyzed. He produced three factors that affect the training needs: organizational analysis, task analysis, and individual analysis. When we say organizational analysis, total organizational analysis is a systematic effort to understand exactly where the training efforts needs to be emphasized in an organization. It involves a detailed analysis of organization structure, objective, human resources, and future business plans, and an understanding of its culture. The first step in organization analysis is clear understanding of both the short-run and long-run business and people goals. Long-term objectives are the broad directions in which the organization would move over long durations. These long-term objectives are then broken down into specific strategies and short-term goals for each of the units or departments. In an organization, the cumulative effects of all these would ultimately lead to the long-term goals. Short-term goals are constantly in need of adaptation of changing environment, both external and internal. For an organization analysis, there are three essential requirements. One is an adequate number of employees available to ensure fulfillment of business operations. You need to have in organization an adequate number of employees manpower. If you do not have sufficient number of manpower, if an organization doesn't have sufficient number of manpower, then how would they fulfill their business operations? Right? Second is employee performance is up to the required standards. Right? every effort of an organization should be directed in such a way कि employee की जो performance है, individual employee की जो performance है, वो जो required standards है वहाँ match करे, right? Should not be below the standards. Again, the third is the working environment of the unit is conducive to the fulfillment of task. जिस environment में हम काम करते हैं वो environment इतना healthy होना चाहिए कि उसमें सबका एफर्ट्स जो हैं वो ऑब्जेक्टिव को फुलफिल करने की तरफ डायरेक्टेड हो. ऑलराइट, क्योंकि अगर वो एनवायरनमेंट ही कंड्यूसिव नहीं होगा, इफ द एनवायरनमेंट इज नॉट कंड्यूसिव टू द फुलफिलमेंट ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव, देन द वेरी पर्पस ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फेल्स. एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हम किस लिए चलाते हैं कि कोई उनका एक ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है, राइट, उनका कोई विजन होता है. जब तक उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एनवायरनमेंट इतना अच्छा नहीं होगा, इतना हेल्दी नहीं होगा, इतना कंड्यूसिव नहीं होगा, तो जो पीपल हु आर इन्वॉल्व्ड इन फुलफिलिंग द टास्क, दे वुड नॉट बी एबल टू डू इट. When we talk about task analysis, alright, TASK, task, it refers to, it entailed a detailed examination of the job. उस टास्क की लेंथ, ब्रेथ, हाइट, डेप्थ सब पर जब तक डिटेल्ड स्टडी नहीं की जाएगी, इट्स कॉम्पोनेंट्स, इट्स वेरियस ऑपरेशंस एंड द कंडीशंस इन द विच इट हैज़ टू बी परफॉर्म्ड, राइट. टास्क एनालिसिस में हमारा फोकस एक इंडिविजुअल टास्क पर रहता है, राइट, इट्सेल्फ, एंड ट्रेनिंग रिक्वायर्ड टू परफॉर्म इट. हमारा जो फोकस है उस टास्क को करने में और उसके लिए ट्रेनिंग क्या ज़रूरी है उसको करने में रहता है, right, rather than on individual. We don't focus here on individual or organization. We focus on tasks, job performances, right, job descriptions. We are concerned about that. Analysis of the job and its various components will indicate the skills and training required to perform the job at the required standards. Now, what are standards of performance? Every job has an expected standard of performance, which is called SOP. Standard of performance is known as SOP. Unless such standards are attained, not only will interrelated jobs suffer, but organization viability will be affected. Alright? And so will the expectations that have been set for that particular job itself. If the standards set for the performance of a job are known, then it is possible to know whether the job is being performed at the desired level of output or not. We just cannot get into a situation where we are asked to perform a job without knowing the standards, without knowing where we have to reach it. Alright? We must know where we have to reach before we start our journey. हम कहीं भी अपनी जर्नी शुरू करने से पहले हमें ये पता होता है कि हमें पहुंचना कहाँ है, हमें अपनी डेस्टिनेशन पता होती है, हमें शॉर्टेस्ट रूट पता होता है, शॉर्टेस्ट एंड द बेस्ट रूट हमें पता होता है, राइट. तो वो जानने के लिए हमें पूरा एक डिटेल्ड स्टडी करनी पड़ सकती है. शॉर्टेस्ट एंड बेस्ट रूट मीन्स स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस. इन द गिवन टाइम, हाउ कैन आई अचीव माई टास्क better than others? Task analysis, right? Now there are various methods. If an employee is asked to perform the job, the exact components of the job and the standard of performances must be known. The nature of the job must be known. Task analysis entails not merely a simple listing of the various job components, but also of various subtasks. Conventional methods of job analysis are usually suitable for task analysis. The first method is literature review regarding the job. The second is job performance. Third is job observation. And third is data collection regarding job interviews. Right? For any kind of blue-collar employees, more precisely in the industrial engineering techniques like time and motion studies could be used. And for white-collar employees, work sampling observation, interviews, and job performance data analysis could be employed. The focus and task analysis approach to identifying training need is with the clear objective of enhancing the performance standard of a given task. This information is then utilized to establish the training program of the employees. It helps identify the skill required either in terms of education or training to perform the job, knowledge, and finally attitudinal predisposition, such as the attitudes towards safety or interpersonal competence that will ensure that the job is performed optimally. Right? When we say we have these conventional methods like job performance, we should know what kind of performance is required from the job. We list down each and every activity in a task. What is task? It is an amalgamation. Group of activities is called task. Alright? Group of activities is called task. So each and every activity, when it is listed down, the required standards are listed down, and then we direct our activities, our efforts in doing it. That becomes our method. The last focus here is on individual analysis. Now we would be discussing individual analysis. What is individual analysis? It is something which is different from organization. The focus here is not on organization, and the focus is not on task. The focus here is on employee, individual employee, his abilities, how well he could deliver a job, what are the positives in it, what are the negatives that needs to be corrected, which all are the areas where the training is to be given. Right? What are the inputs required for job performance or individual growth and development in terms of career planning? When we talk of individual analysis, right, the focus shifts from individual, his employee, right? The common source for this need analysis usually forms part of the performance assessment process. Clues to training needs can also come from an analysis of an individual or a group's typical behavior. The primary source of such informations are observation at workplace, right? Examination of job schedules, quantum of spoilage. We tend to make observations during the workplace, right? What kind of activities they undertake to perform a given task. Right? What is the extent of wastage that an employee does? How well we can correct it? How well we can rectify it? The other is interview with superiors and employees. Right? When an individual analysis happens of a particular person, interview is another source from where we can get information about an individual. We interview the employee, we interview the superior so as to get the feedback. Another is comparative studies of good versus poor employees. Alright, good versus poor employees. Then we fix up a standard that yes, this is an acceptable good level of performance. Yes, this is an acceptable level of performance that we need from an employee. And we have to make that individual. We will assess that individual. Right? We will focus his efforts depending upon the requirement of the job. Another is personal record. How well that person, what is his past experiences? What are his activities directed towards it? Another is production report. Now, when we reach the stage of training and development, what are the types and techniques of training? Alright, there would be number of methods when we go in for trainings. One is on-the-job trainings. Why on-the-job training? There are number of activities that require on-the-job training. For example, of people who are handling machine, right? People who are handling machine, they should be given on-the-job training so that they get hands-on experience of taking care of the machinery, the maintenance. Another is vestibule training. This method attempts to duplicate on-the-job situations, right? Classroom training. We make arrangements, artificial arrangements in the class. Alright, it is a classroom training which is often imparted with the help of the equipment and machines which are identical with those in use in the place of work. This technique enables the trainees to concentrate on learning the new skills rather than performing an actual job. They are done to impart new skills to the employees. The advantages of vestibule training are the instructor, a specialist, should be more skilled at teaching, right? The person who is imparting the training should be more skilled. The students here avoids confusion and pressure of work situation and is thus able to. This is an advantage because he is away from the pressurizing job. He is there in the classroom. He is away from the tension. He is away from the pressures. He is able to concentrate more on learning. One can also attain a given level of skill more quickly in a specialized training situation. We have more assurance that adequate time and attention will be given to training and it will not slighted in favor of other problems. Alright. Another form of training is work simulation methods. Now, what is work simulation method? It is a technique that duplicates as nearly as possible the actual conditions encountered on a job. The actual conditions encountered on a job. Generally, simulation techniques have been most widely used in aeronautical studies. All right. Another method is knowledge-based methods. When we talk about knowledge-based training, an effort is made to expose participants to concepts and theories, basic principles, and pure and applied knowledge in any subject area. Basically, it is aimed at creating an awareness of the knowledge of fundamentals. The focus is essentially on transmission of knowledge which has been imbibed by the participants. This knowledge is the base, the foundation on which further understanding can be built. The categories of these methods are lecture, seminars, workshops, films and training, group discussions, etc. The method that we would be discussing here now is experiential methods. In this category, the emphasis is on achieving through group processes and dynamics a better understanding of oneself and other self. Experience. You try to experience a situation. It has been asserted that attitudinal learning helps an individual to improve his comprehension of self, others, group behavior, and personal interaction. Such knowledge and understandings help an individual to understand the problem of human relationship. Such kind of training is imparted on the job by employee's immediate manager. It provides to the trainee opportunities for getting acquainted with their managers. The managers too have an opportunity to judge the abilities and possibilities of training from the point of view of their job performances. Now, what is the role of management development? As per Dr. B.K. Madan, management development is the development of management over and above its science and theory, of its practice and applications in organizations, corporations and institute, alike in relation to the organization and manner, so as continuously to re-equip both to fulfill their purposes more effectively and in harmony with each other, and both with the environment in which they function and have their being and hope to thrive upon and grow. The organizational aim of management developments are to secure the following valuable end result. Now, these are the why we conduct management development, what role does it play? We will be discussing it just now. So, why management development, executive development? Because it is an attempt at improving an individual's managerial capabilities and effectiveness through a planned and deliberate process of training, right? Today's organizations are making significant investment in building training infrastructure and commitment towards their ability. Now, when we talk about the aims, it helps in improvement in the technical performance, right? We impart management development program. It helps in improving the technical performances of the employees concerned. Secondly, it helps in improvement in supervision and leadership at each level. When there is an intended and intentional management development program, it aims to improve. Any kind of training program, the aim is to improve. When the improvement happens in case of management, it helps in improving the supervision, it helps in improving the leadership level. Again, in improvement in interdepartmental cooperation. It's not one person who does the work, it's group of people. Likewise, it's not one department that does the work. There are multiple departments in the organization. And when that multiplicity happens, there is a coordination. In order to improve that coordination, management development programs are helpful. Highlighting an individual's weaknesses. When we say training is to improve, and what is to be improved? The weaknesses are to be improved, right? Attracting good man. Any training program is all about attracting good people, honing their skills, facilitating sound from promotion from within. It's a policy, right? Instead of hiring people from outside, we have people who are there with us inside in the organization, right? Role of management development plays a very vital role. We develop people from within the organization. It increases their morale, it increases their motivation, right? They become more attached to the organization if we continuously give them the right opportunity to grow. Ensuring that the qualification of key personnel become better known. All right? Creating reserves in management rank. Just in case we foresee that in future some manager is going to leave, we have ready reserve with us for any contingency. Making an organization more flexible by an increased versatility of its member. And improving organizational structure. If we have better people at the top, if we have better and equipped people at the top, then overall organization increases. Again, stimulating junior executives to do better work. All the aims are directed towards higher productivity, higher efficiency. So management development plays that role so that the juniors get accustomed to new techniques. Their skills are more improved. Keeping the company at least of technical and economic condition. And broadening key men in the middle cadre. Evaluation of training effectiveness. An objective of training evaluation is to determine the payoff from the training investment. It focuses on the improvement of the participants in the training program to perform jobs for which they were trained. What was effective and what was not, whether the trainees required any additional on-the-job training, and the extent of training not needed for the participant to meet the job requirement. As per Kirkpatrick's study, training effectiveness of outcomes can be measured as per their reactions. We evaluate the trainee's reaction to the program. Did he like the program? Did he think it worthwhile? Another is learning. Did the trainee learn the principles, skills, and facts that a supervisor or the trainee worked them to learn? Another is behavior. Whether the trainee's behavior on the job changed because of the training program. And the last one is the result. What final results have been achieved? Did he learn how to work on machine? Did scrap page cost decrease? Was turnover reduced? These are the examples of various results, the outcomes of training. Now, there are various methods to evaluate training effectiveness. One is structured interview. What is structured interview? It usually happens with immediate supervisor of the trainee, right? Are acceptable methods. The supervisor is asked to rate the former trainee on job proficiency directly related to the training objective, right? Another method, the second method is experimental and control group. Now, what are experimental and control groups? Each group is randomly selected in this particular area. One to receive training. We make groups here. One receives the training and others not to receive training. That's a control group. Another is we are experimenting something on them. Alright. The random selection helps to assure the formation of groups quite similar to each other. Then measures are taken of relevant indicators of success, like words typed per minute. For example, it is a training for typists. Units of work produced per hour, right? Before and after the training for both the groups. If the results shown by the experimental group are significantly greater than those of the control group, the training can be considered as successful. Another and the last method that is very commonly used is longitudinal or time series analysis. A series of measurements are taken before the program begins and continues during and post completion of the program. The results are then plotted on the graph to ascertain changes, if any, have occurred and continue to remain as a result of the training investment that has been made. In addition, pre and post tests are administered to the training groups. Prior to the training, a test related to the training material is applied, and the result of this pre-test are compared with the results on the same or similar test administered after the program has been completed. Now a big question arises, why training fails? It's a very important question. Alright, training fails when the top management is not committed to training programs. When the training is undertaken just for the heck of it, then there are full chances of training getting failed. Again, the top management hardly rewards managers for carrying out training effectively. When a junior manager conducts a training and that too effectively, and top management doesn't recognize it, when they do not reward it properly, then the purpose of training fails because there are no further efforts to undertake more training program. When rare systematic planning and budgeting by the top management. When everything is so unsystematic, when proper budgets are not allocated to training, then training fails, right? The middle management without proper incentive from top management does not account for training in production scheduling, right? Behavioral objectives are often imprecise. Off-the-job trainings are often not in line with the techniques followed at workplace. Many a times it happens, Many a times it happens that the training is not in line with the methods that you are following at your workplace. The techniques are different and they are not aligned together. Then training fails. The trainer has to adopt methods of your current job requirement. How can a training be made effective? When there are clear and crisp specific training objectives are outlined. There has to be a reason why training is undertaken. And when the reasons are clear, when there are specifications, then training becomes successful. The training should be planned so that it is related to the trainee's previous experiences. Only planned thing becomes more successful. They give more decisive results. A trainee should be provided with personal assistance when encountered with obstacles. In any kind of training, obstacles are bound to happen because they are dummy to your work-related environment. So when they are faced with obstacles, difficulties, they should be provided with personal assistance. Then training becomes effective. Regular and constructive feedback to be provided in order to increase the efficiency. Alright. When a constructive feedback, not just to demean other, a constructive feedback is provided, then the efficiency increases. When a genuine effort is from the trainer's side, then the effectiveness increases. A combination of training methods to be used so that there are better results. No one method is suitable for one kind of a job. one needs to incorporate multiple training methods so that better results are achieved. Now there are questions for you. What is training and what are its objectives? Second is discuss various methods of training available with their respective limitations. Thank you from We Learn, Be Learning and We Learning. Thank you.